Hey guys, this week for Weapons Wednesday, we're testing out these new modern throwing axes and looking at some of the other new items we just added to the KarateMart.com website. But before we begin, if you could just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. So last week, I gave you guys your choice of 5 different knives that you could choose from to survive in the wild. And then I asked you to go to Community tab and vote for which one you like best. And there were some really cool knives to choose from too. But you guys went to the Community tab and voted for the Forest Ranger Bowie knife. Excellent choice, guys. This actually was not my choice though, but the fact that so many of you guys voted for the Bowie knife tells me that this is something you're really interested in. So that's really good information for me. So this week, I asked Amanda to go back in the warehouse and choose 5 of our newest items for me to review. So at the end of this video, make sure you go to the Community tab and vote for which one you like best. And as always, there's links in the description of the video so you can get more information about each item. So without further ado, what's our first item, Amanda?
There you go.
Awesome, awesome. All right, let's see what this is. Okay. All right, and our very first item is the Behemoth folding cleaver. Oh, I saw this guy come in. This is pretty neat. So first off, it comes with this really nice heavy-duty nylon case, and it's got this belt loop on it, so we could hang it from the side of our body if we want, but I want to see the knife itself. Okay, we're opening this up, and check this thing out. This is nuts. Okay, so watch this. So I kind of hold it in one hand, flick it open. Look at that. That is so cool. I absolutely love this. So we've been showing off some cleaver knives in various videos, and they've got some really cool aspects to them that make them an excellent knife. For one, they've got this kind of point on the end that makes them great for cutting through fabrics or different materials. So let's actually test that out first since I've got it open right now. I actually have this used karate gi in here that we can't sell anymore. So I just want to show you how easily this cuts through this. This is so cool. Okay, so I just barely tapped it. And look at that cut. That is just awesome. So that little point right there is going to be perfect for slicing. And then if you look at this blade, you can see the choil here turns this into this beautiful cleaver shape. So we could just chop with this. I think for an outdoor knife, this thing is spectacular. So look at how thick this steel is. This is made from a 440 stainless steel, which is not my favorite steel, but is very good in outdoor situations because it is corrosion resistant. Plus, if you see how thick this is, that is not gonna break easily at all. So if we look at the pommel on this thing and then the blade itself, that's a 1/4 inch thick. So you can just see that this is a very heavy duty, solid knife. And one of the things I like most about it is it actually has a ball bearing pivot on it. So watch this. So the design on this thing kind of has this little ledge up here. This is so cool. So if we close it up, we've got a pocket clip here. I put it in my pocket like this. I'm hoping you can see this on video. And because of the ledge, all I have to do, pull it out and it's immediately opened up for us. So that is so cool. I absolutely love it. And then if we don't want to open it that way, we also have this little shelf right here, so we can kind of flick it with our thumb and then flick it with our hand, and we've got it open for us. So that is really, really nice. I also like the fact that we do have a lanyard hole on the pommel, so we could add a wrist strap to it. We could add some paracord to it for survival purposes. And then you can see that there's also jimping on the pommel as well. So that means, to me at least, that we can try different grips on this thing. So in forward grip, I've kind of got this little thumb shelf here that gives me good control with this knife. But if we throw it in reverse grip, look at that. I've got all that grip right there on the jimping on the pommel. So I can have some really good control with this knife in reverse grip as well. And this pommel is so big that you could actually use that for non-lethal strikes as well. That is an awesome pommel for striking. I love that. One of the other things that's really great about this knife is that it's got this really heavy-duty, thick frame lock design on it. So that blade is extremely secure. The overall length is approximately 10 3/4 inches, but when we close it, it's approximately 6.5 inches, and the blade length is approximately 3 3/4 inches, and this weighs about 1 pound, 3.3 ounces. So that is absolutely perfect for chopping, for slicing, for all sorts of survival purposes, but there's not much else for me to say about this, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is our very next weapon?
There you go.
Thank you. All right, and our next weapon is the Damascus Blade Karambit. Nice, I love karambits. Oh, wow. That is cool. So first off, we can see that it has this really nice black genuine leather sheath on it. So the first thing I notice about this sheath is that it has a neck that's a little bit longer than a standard sheath. So I guess what that's going to do is that's going to keep your handle protected a little bit better than a standard sheath. So that's pretty nice, but I want to see the blade itself. Oh wow, that is beautiful. So that blade is made from a hand-forged Damascus steel. Now Damascus steel is a steel that's made by forging together iron and steel or different steel alloys. And what's interesting also is that modern Damascus steel is a little bit different from what was produced 2,000 years ago, but it's known for having these beautiful wave-like or water drop patterns on the blade. Now the blade itself is this sharp Talon style blade, which is so common with karambit knives. We can see that on the top of the blade, it's got this unsharpened swedge, which would be kind of fun to sharpen up if you had a belt sander or something, but the blade itself is super sharp and the tip is also extremely sharp. But my favorite part of the karambits is this ring on the pommel, so I'm gonna throw my finger in there and see how that feels. Ooh. That is comfortable. So what's a little bit different about this karambit is that the ring on the pommel is very thick. So that's gonna make it very comfortable in different grips. So now that we have it in reverse grip, let's just see how well we can transition to extended grip. Oh yeah, that feels good. And because it's such a thick ring on the pommel, I have extremely good control of this blade in extended grip. So I like that a lot. And then if we throw it into forward grip, oh yeah, very comfortable as well. Now there's not jimping on this, but we can see that there is this kind of pattern inside the handle that gives us good control of the blade in forward grip. And then in reverse grip, that little pattern there actually gives me really good grip for my thumb. But that ring is just a little bit small. The diameter of the ring is approximately 7/8 inches. So I have fairly large hands and that fits me really nice and comfortably. But if you have really large hands, I think it might be a little bit too small for your hands, so you'd probably have to only use it in forward grip. So that's definitely something you need to think about if you're planning on buying a knife like this. And one of the most interesting things about this karambit is the handle. So we can see that the blade goes full tang through the handle, but we actually have a steel bolster and a steel pommel, and then black buffalo horn in between. So that is absolutely beautiful. Now the overall length is approximately 8.5 inches. The blade length is approximately 4 inches, and the knife weight is approximately 10 ounces. So I love the weight of this karambit. Very, very awesome, but there's nothing else for me to really say about it, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is our next weapon?
There you go.
Thank you. All right, let's see what this is. Ooh. All right, and our next weapon is the modern throwing axe set. Very cool. We haven't shown off many throwing axes, so I'm actually really glad you grabbed this, Amanda. So first off, we can see that it has this really nice heavy-duty nylon sheath with a belt loop on it. So we could actually hang that from the side of our body if we wanted. And what's interesting to me too is that it's a single sheath with 2 throwing axes in it. So let's open this up and actually see what these guys look like. Oh wow, okay, so now I see what you mean by modern throwing axes. That is a very modern design. Now there's clearly some things that they did to try to distribute the weight more evenly and make these a little more aerodynamic. We can see that they added the swedge to the top of the blade, and then the grind itself is very interesting. We can see that it's a deeper grind in the front and then a more shallow grind in the back. And then they added this venting to the handle and into the butt of the axe to actually balance these out really nicely. So we can see that that's balanced really, really well. Now because of the size of these axes, I don't think they would throw very well in a two-handed method, but I think they would throw really well in a one-handed full spin method. I'm not going to show you guys how to throw these axes on this video, but there are some incredible axe throwers if you just do a search on YouTube for them. There's a guy named Adam Celadon that I just love watching his videos because he is so incredible at throwing knives and axes and all sorts of things. So definitely check out his videos. Now these are actually made from a stainless steel, which is definitely not my favorite steel, but it is corrosion resistant. So if we're going to be using these outdoors, that's actually going to be beneficial. Plus, if you're looking at most throwing knives and throwing stars, you see that many of them are made from a 3CR or a 440 stainless steel. So that's very common when it comes to throwing weapons. I also like the fact that this actually has a curved handle on it. That actually makes it really comfortable for throwing. Now the total length is approximately 10 inches, the head length is approximately 7¼ inches, and the blade length is approximately 3¼ inches. And the weight per axe is approximately 9.7 ounces. So that is a good weight for a throwing axe. I don't like them when they're too light, and I don't like them when they're too heavy. I think this is going to be great for throwing. I'll definitely have to test it out a little bit. But there's not much more to say about these, so I'm going to go ahead and put these away. And let's move on to our next weapon. All right, Amanda, what is our very next weapon?
There you go.
Awesome, awesome. I'm going to use my Dark Assassin butterfly knife today. So let's see what this is. Oh, wow. All right, so our very next weapon is the silver Converta-Chuck. Awesome, awesome. So we've been selling the black Converta-Chuck for so many years, and what's interesting about that is there are a ton of manufacturers selling Converta-Chucks out there, and they're all made just cheap. They're all made out of aluminum, they bend easy, so we've been so lucky that we found some really good Converta-Chucks that I absolutely love. But lately we haven't been able to get them, so we got these as a substitute recently from a different manufacturer, and they seem pretty good. I actually want to test them out a little bit. These ones are actually made out of steel. It looks like they are stainless steel here. They've got some nice knurling here for grip, so I like that a lot. They're actually just a baton that you unscrew and then they turn into a nunchuck. So I think that's really cool. I love the idea. These guys are definitely not quite as good quality as the standard black ones we normally carry, but they actually feel pretty good. My concern with them is that I think that they'll work really well for nunchuck practice. I think they would work pretty well if you got into combat, because these are pretty darn sturdy actually. But my concern is that if you're gonna strike something that's very hard or dense, I think they're actually gonna dent on you. But I actually wanna test them out a little bit. Because I love these things. I think they're so much fun. I remember doing a kata back in the day where I kind of, in the middle of the kata, transformed them from a baton into a nunchuck. But here, I'm actually going to take this guy off the Wing Chun dummy, and let's just strike it just a little bit to see if they actually dent or break on us. So, boom, boom, boom. You can see it's kind of chipping off the Wing Chun dummy. I'll give it a little more strength. Yeah, you can hear that. I'm really hitting that thing. And yeah, I don't see any damage to the chucks at all. You can see where I was striking it on the butt of the nunchuck, but there's no damage to this thing, so that actually held up just fine. My concern would be if I turn these into a baton and I actually struck something this dense, it's actually going to dent on me. So I definitely wouldn't recommend that. I'll test them out a little bit more though. So the total length of the baton is approximately 21¾ inches. The nunchuck handle lengths are approximately 10¾ inches, and the chain length is approximately 5 inches, and they weigh approximately 14.8 ounces. So I actually really like the weight of these nunchucks. I think they feel really good. I think I can do a lot of tricks with them. I actually think they're a really cool pair of nunchucks. But that's really all I have to say about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this away, and let's move on to our next item. All right, Amanda, what is our last weapon?
There you go.
Awesome, awesome. All right, let's see what this is. Oh, cool. All right, so our very last weapon of the day is the Dark Combat Machete. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's check this guy out. Oh wow, this is nice. So first off, we can see that it comes with this really nice heavy-duty nylon sheath. And then it's got this pocket on here, so we could actually add in a sharpening stone, we could add in some survival supplies, so that's pretty sweet. And then we also have a belt loop on here, so we could hang it from the side of our body. And then there's some lag ties down here, so we could tie it to our leg just to make it a little more secure if we wanted to. But I want to see the blade itself, so let's open this guy up. Oh wow, that is nice. So the thing that I notice immediately on this is that it's got a G10 handle that's very comfortable. It's got a semi-ergonomic grip to it. So I actually like that because I have good control of this, despite the fact that it is so heavy. This actually weighs about 1 pound 11 ounces, so I can get some really good momentum on my swings with this. The blade itself is made from a very thick 1065 surgical steel with a black finish. Now we can see that the blade goes full tang through the handle, so this is going to hold up for you very nicely. Now the blade itself is sharp and the tip is very sharp, and I like the style of this blade because that's going to give you a really nice tip for slicing. So I'm actually going to pull up that fabric again on the Wing Chun dummy and just see how well it slices. All right, let's try slicing this area just with the tip. Oh yeah, you can see that that just sliced through that really, really easily. So I love when we have a tip like this. That's kind of like a sheep's foot blade in a way. So that's pretty neat. We could use it for cutting, we could use it for slicing. Actually a very versatile blade. So the overall length of this is approximately 19.5 inches. The blade length is approximately 13 inches. And as I said before, it weighs approximately 1 pound 11 ounces. So there's not much more to say about this, so make sure you guys go to the community tab and vote for which weapon you like best this week. But if you have any questions on this or any of the other weapons I showed off in this video, definitely leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out KarateMart.com because we got all sorts of really great weapons on there right now. But until next week, we'll see you Weapons Wednesday.